All right. Welcome everyone to the weekly email challenge. I'm your host, Jillian Shanahan. Oh, I'm just kidding. But I'm really excited to be here with you today to be doing the weekly email challenge. This is one of the Teacher Boss Society challenges that we do every single month. I'm going to go here. I'm going to flip around. All right. So, welcome everyone. If you're here, leave a note in the chat and say hi. Okay. All right. So, quick overview of Teacher Boss Society. So, this month I am making the first part of the challenge available to everybody who wants to join. So, if you're watching this, you may or may not already be a part of Teacher Boss Society. If you are not a part of Teacher Boss Society, I want to give you a quick overview of what this is. So, every month in Teacher Boss Society, we do a new challenge. The challenges kind of build on each other. And the purpose for the challenge is to help you build and grow a sustainable online teaching business. Whether you are teaching English, math, music, we have a music teacher, religion, we have religion teachers, French, a different language, no matter what you're teaching, we want you to be able to build a sustainable online teaching business. And we have challenges that we do this with. So I want to go over some of the challenges that we've done before. Hi, Lacey. Lacey's one of our awesome Teacher Boss Society challengers, and she is doing amazing with all of them. So the first one that we did when we revamped and upgraded Teacher Boss Society basically was in February, and that was the Enroll and Grow Challenge. The Enroll and Grow Challenge is a challenge where you go in, you learn how to define your niche, how you're going to serve them. You build all the foundations for your business so that you can start building on top of it. Then in April, we had I'm going backwards. So then in March, or I'm skipping. So in March, we had the visual branding tune up. So we picked our colors, we made our mood boards. We basically chose how our business was going to look and how we were going to brand our business. So we did our branding. In April, we did our website revamp challenge. So we created our own websites. In May, we did our high converting freebie. So this is to grow your email list. Okay. So now by May, we had students. So a lot of people were actually fully booked right after the February challenge. I'm not going to lie. And then we did the branding and we did our websites and we did our email lists. We did our email sequence. So after somebody joins your email list, what are you going to communicate to them? I I have this mixed around here. We did a blog. The teachers have their own blogs in the challenge now. We did the picture perfect challenge so that you can have nice high quality images of yourself to put on your branded website and your emails and on your social media. That was really fun. We did, and we kind of switched from the end of the month to the beginning of the month. So this is a little bit different here. In September, we did a create a course challenge. Or sorry, October, we did create a course challenge. So everybody created their own courses that can be taught without a live instructor. So the courses, and Lacey said, enroll and grow is pure gold. I am so proud of how, like, I was able to take my entire system and put it down in a 3-day challenge so that you can replicate how I become fully booked. Um, it's so much fun. So then in September, teachers took their ideas for courses. They created ideas for courses if they were stuck and they didn't know what to do. And they created courses, the slides, the videos, everything, so that they can go through and sell those courses as standalone products. So instead of selling like one-on-one lessons or group lessons or ongoing lessons, these are like, you know, like a 1-month course that students can go in and learn something, and that was really fun. So now we're actually doing October's challenge, the beginning of November, but we're doing the weekly email challenge now. And we're going to do at the end of the month so that we can catch up. We're going to do the November challenge at the end of November. So then we'll be back on track because I've got the whole 2026 mapped out and I don't want to get behind. And then the USP revamp challenge, that is important to keep that at the end of the year. So we're going to do a 2 challenge in November to kind of catch up because we went from the end of the month to the beginning of the month. Okay. So here we go with that. And now we are doing the weekly email challenge now. So I want to give you a quick overview of the challenge. So day one, that is today, write like you mean it. So we're going to discover the strategy behind truly engaging weekly emails and learn 3 email types that we're going to focus on. Then we're going to brainstorm a variety of authentic, story-driven ideas rooted in your real experiences, thoughts, and voice. All right. On Wednesday will be day 2. We are going to choose 9 of your best ideas, 3 from each category, and we're going to write 2-paragraph email sparks to capture the core message and tone. These are going to become the foundation of your full emails. Keep it real, not perfect. All right. Day 3, we're going to be using ChatGPT to turn your sparks into polished, send-worthy emails while staying true to your voice. You're going to add the subject lines and plan your schedule so that you can stay consistent and keep showing up with authenticity. So those of you that are on my email list, you have probably received some of these email sparks before. These are not sale emails. These are not emails to get you to buy something. These are not emails with a call to action. These are just emails to get to build a relationship with your audience. I have done this before. Where I sent my emails. And if you've been on my email list for a long time, you've probably seen this. I've done this before where I had my email list and I would push sales. I would push products. I would push you push things down people's throats. They don't want to hear that. Sometimes they just might need a little bit of inspiration. Sometimes they just might need something to get them through, or a little, like, some helpful hints, some helpful tips. So if you're writing to somebody who's learning English and they suddenly get an email from you, and you're going to understand this more when you go through it, right? When they suddenly get an email from you that says, um, uh, hey, buy my stuff. If you're not ready to if they're not ready to enroll in an English class, they're not going to read it. But if you send them an email saying, you know what, I struggled learning English too. Okay. And this isn't going to all apply to all of you, but say you're a non-native English speaker, and then they receive an email that says, listen, I struggled learning English too. One of the things that was the hardest for me was learning how to pronounce things. Everything was so hard because it's so different than my native tongue. But this is just a quick email to let you know that you could do it too. Okay. Signing off, Teacher Jill. Okay. Now they're getting this bond with you. They're you're building relationship with your email base. They're more likely to open your emails too, because they know, like, hey, I'm going to open up this email and I'm going to get, like, a good feeling about it. It's going to push me to go further. It's going to push me on, right? It's going to push me further in my English learning journey. And that's the difference between your newsletters and your sales emails and all of this. This is just to build a relationship with your customers. Now, you are going to send that email that says, hey, I had a hard time doing this too. I just wanted to let you know that I can do it too. Okay. Somebody's going to open that email and they're going to say, wow, you know what? I really want this teacher to be my English teacher. And they're going to book with you. They're going to message you back and say, hey, how can I take a lesson with you? I would love to improve my English. Do you offer classes? What is it called? Whatever they ask you, you're going to get an email back from them. And I mean, it's not going to be 100% conversion, right? But you will get emails back that say, I would really like to take a lesson with you. Sign me up. Okay. And this is the difference between um, sending sales emails, sending newsletters, and sending these email sparks. Okay. There is a purpose for them. Everything should not be give me your money, me your money, sign up for this, whatever. Okay. So in this challenge, your job is, and Megan says, Hi from Florentis Learning. If anyone hasn't checked out Florentis Learning stuff, by the way, and you need curriculum, it is gold. So your job is going to be to watch the live sessions, complete the assignments, and engage with the community. If you cannot join live, make sure to watch the replay as soon as possible and complete the assignments before the next day. Okay? That's your job. If you are not a member of Teacher Boss Society, I want you to go to www.teacherbosssociety.com. The link is also in the description box. Sign up. You're going to have access to the workbook. You're going to have access to all the challenges. You're going to have access to the school community. You're going to have access to the weekly coaching that happens on Thursdays and all the future challenges. So long as you're a member, we have, like I said, we're going to have a second challenge this month too. So, all right. The members portal that's going to be on school. I'm transferring everything from school from the teacherbosssociety.com to school. I like school because it gives me the ability to have a calendar so you can see everything that's going on, and the links are all right there. And it's just been a lot better organized than doing it on my website or doing it on on the Facebook group. So it has been, why does my dad always call as soon as I get into coaching? Sorry. It has been a game changer to be in school. So you will have access to the school group once you sign up as well. So what can you expect from this month's challenge? So you're going to have better emails than before. They're going to be faster and easier to write. You're going to learn how to leverage ChatGPT or AI. So if you use Claude or some of the other ones, whatever one you use, you're going to be able to leverage your AI system without compromising on your authentic voice. I will tell you, so these are not going to sound like ChatGPT when you write them, okay? And you can always edit them too if something doesn't sound right. And I will tell you that you're going to get better results if you're using ChatGPT if you sign up for the ChatGPT Pro. You can do it without it, but you do get better results without it, or with the Pro, sorry. You are going to show your true self, personal and sometimes vulnerable, in a natural, organic way. And when I say vulnerable, it's not going to be like, oh my God, like they now know every little skeleton in my closet. It's not that vulnerable. It's going to be vulnerabilities that relate to your audience. And this can be used no matter how big your email list is. So if you've got 30 people on your email list or 30,000 people on your email list, I've used it for my big email list. I've used it for my small email list because I have a couple of different businesses, and it works. And it's going to help you with consistency because you're going to go through today and you're going to write out a whole bunch of emails for the future. Okay, you're going to write like 9 weeks of emails, a couple of months of emails, and schedule them in your email system. And if you have any questions about what email system to use, hold those off until the Q&A because I will answer them, or type them in the chat and I'll get to them when we get to that. But you can, you don't have to sit here every single week and be like, oh, I have to write an email. What am I going to write? It's going to be done for you. So you'll batch create all of these emails, all of these email sparks. You're going to batch create them. Shoop. And then you can work on your other stuff. So you'll schedule out all of your emails that go to all of your students for, the next 9 weeks, the next couple of months. And then during those couple of months, you're going to put that aside and you can come back to these prompts and do this again later. But you're going to put that to the side for now after we're done. And you're going to go back and you're going to be able to focus on your trials. You're going to be able to focus on your enrollments. You're going to be able to focus on maybe creating that next YouTube video or creating that next post on Xiaohongshu. So that way it takes stuff off your plate and you don't have to constantly have this huge task list of everything that you need to do on a weekly or daily basis. It's going to make it so much easier with you and easier for you, and you can stay consistent. Okay. All right. The workbook is in the school portal already on day one. And we're going to dive in. And Megan said, my weekly emails are scheduled until the end of November, but I add in special emails for webinars and other things. Yeah. So this isn't to say that you can't still put in your sales emails. You can. It's just that all of your emails shouldn't be that. And are you talking about the weekly emails for this challenge? So Megan has already done this challenge a couple of weeks ago. I kind of use her as a test subject for some of my things, for some of my challenges. Um, so I'm pretty sure this is one that I did with her. Are those the emails that you're talking about? All righty. So let's dive in. Mindset, really quick. Your voice is the value. All right. What you have to say to your audience is important. There are things, there are experiences that you have had, there are things that you have done that are important, okay? And they're going to help your students. Your biggest block, yes, sort of challenge with this challenge with some tweaks. Okay. Your biggest block can be self-doubt. Are you telling yourself that you have nothing valuable to say? Because that's not true. That's not true. People pay you to come into your classes, or at least you want, if you don't have students, you want them to pay you to come into classes. So you better have something good to say. You don't need to sound like anybody else. If somebody else is over there and they're cursing up a storm and they're relating to their audience like that, and you're like, no, man, I teach through God. And somebody else is like, I am like, Miss Rachel, like I don't want to go either way. Um, be you, okay? You don't have to sound like anybody else that's out there. Consistency is going to build connection. If you get somebody on your email list and then you never say a word to them again, and then 3 months later you're like, "Hey everybody, it's me, Teacher Jill." And they're going to be like, "I know I'm learning English, but like where did you come from?" Whereas if I send out these relatable emails and you'll understand it as we go further in this challenge, then they'll be like, I know you and I appreciate you and I relate to you because of these emails. Done is better than perfect. Okay. And your email list is not a stage, it's a dinner table. They can sample lots of different things and you're going to feed your email list. Okay. Really quick, a 2-minute exercise. And you can write this in the chat here. If I believe my voice was the value, I would write about. So just brainstorm really quick. And if you're watching this, just, put something in here. What do you think you have valuable that you can tell your potential students that you could write about? What do you think that what experiences do you have? What and anything that you could speak about? And just everybody kind of just write something really quick. I'll go ahead and not share them on the screen for privacy things, but just pop something in the chat really quick, or write it down on your notebook or in your workbook, if you don't want to share it. But if you believe your voice was the value, what would you write about? Um, so I mentioned before the non-native English teacher, and I have spoken about this before several times, because so many times non-native English teachers think that they're not worth anything because they're non-native, and that's simply not true. Because the fact of the matter is that non-native English teachers, they have a completely different experience that is incredibly valuable, because they are able to speak from um speak from a place of relatability. Like, okay, I've been there before, I got this. Okay, so maybe some of the things that they're going to be talking about, they might be talking about they might be talking about uh how hard it was to learn the tenses in English. Okay. And I see some things coming in on the chat. Very good. I won't share those because those are kind of like personal for you guys, but go ahead and pop them in there. I mean, I won't share them on the screen because you can delete a comment, but you can't delete something once it's on my screen. So, alrighty. Your challenge objectives here. And you guys will be working today, just so you know. So even if you're not in the challenge, like don't leave me here. This is not a webinar. This is actually the day one of the challenge. I'm just offering it to everybody on my YouTube channel. So the challenge objectives, you're going to brainstorm engaging, story-driven topics that reflect your authentic voice. You are going to write 9 email sparks that capture your message in a real and relatable way. You're going to use ChatGPT to turn your sparks into polished, ready to send emails. And you're going to create a simple email plan so you can stay consistent without the stress. Okay. And when I do this, by the way, sometimes I do more than 9. Like this, you're going to learn how to do this. And it's going to be so much easier to write these emails that you could, if you wanted to, you could do a whole year's worth of content. I won't because things might change between then, but it's going to be so nice and so easy to do this. Okay. All right. So day 1 is now starting and write like you mean it. All right. Today's objectives, what you're going to do, you're going to explore what makes a weekly email truly engaging and vulnerable. We are going to focus on strategy, not just how to write emails, but how you're going to create authentic, story driven content that feels like you. You will learn about the 3 types of emails that we're going to focus on in this challenge. And then we're going to be brainstorming your own ideas. By the end of today, you are going to have a solid list of email topics rooted in your real life experiences, values, and business stories. Okay. So you will have, by the end of today, you're going to have a whole list of email ideas that you can use. Okay. So why weekly emails matter. We talked about this already, but just to refresh it, you want to stay in touch with your audience. You don't want them to forget that they're you, or you don't want them to forget who you are. You don't want them to get in the habit of not opening your emails because it feels spammy. You don't want them unsubscribing or marking you as spam. So weekly matters, just weekly emails, just touching base with your audience is going to be so helpful. We're going to write 3 different types of emails, and we'll get into that in a second here. But the reason that we're going to be writing 3 different types is to kind of diversify what you're writing. Okay. And then authenticity comes first. We want these to be authentic emails, and we want them to be story driven too, so that they can really relate to them. All right. So the first type of email, we've got business adjacent emails. Okay. The next one, personal and relatable emails. And the next one, your product or service backstory emails. So you see there's 3 different types of emails. All right. And we're going to go into a ChatGPT demo here really quick. So let me really quick share my screen. All righty. So you're going to open up ChatGPT. Make sure you can see it. Okay. You're going to open up ChatGPT. And hold on a second. I'm going to have to go back into that because I just closed it. All right. So you're going to open up ChatGPT. And then you are also going to open up this tab right here, the November weekly email challenge. And what you're going to do when you open this, you're going to take it and you're going to make a copy of it. So now you can actually, with the copy, you're going to be able to edit this if you need to. And you can like take down notes, write your answers on it. This is all in the Teacher Boss Society portal on the school account. Okay. So if you're in Teacher Boss Society, it's all in there. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to copy where it says prompt 1. Beep, do, 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 do. Okay, you're going to copy what prompt 1 says. You're going to go to ChatGPT and you're going to type it all in. I'm going to write this out for you, or I'm going to read this for you really quick. Hi, ChatGPT. I'm working on a series of weekly emails to my email list. I want my emails to be unique, authentic, and interesting. They should not sound like ChatGPT wrote them. They should also not be typical topics you may suggest for my industry. They must all be rooted in my own real life experience, philosophy, and unique approach to what I offer. Nonetheless, I still need your help as long as you stick to my guidelines. So, one, I'll be writing 9 emails in total, 3 of each of the following. Okay. I'm going to tell you more about the business type or the types now. So, type one, business adjacent emails. These emails are connected to my work or my experience. They are not directly promotional. The goal is to provide insight, value, or a quick story that naturally reinforces what I do without making a pitch. Type two, these are personal and relatable emails. These emails have nothing to do with my business at first glance, but they build trust by letting people see who I am outside of my work. They are to connect over family, pets, travel, childhood memories, fears, funny fails. If you guys have ever, if you're on my email list and you've ever gotten an email about one of them was I hug my goats. Okay, that falls into here where I'm like, "Hey, I hug my goats." Um, and the it connected back to uh teaching online. Okay, so those were emails that would have gone out to you guys. Number three, product service backstory emails. So these emails focus on one of my offers. And instead of describing what it is, I will tell a story behind it. What inspired it? What led to its creation? What did I learn by delivering it? The mention of the product comes after the story. So for this one, for example, maybe I have my English enlightenment class. Okay. And this is a class that I offer to younger kids who don't know any English and they want to just have exposure from English. So maybe in this email, just for an example of what this email might be, I am explaining to them how I came up with my English enlightenment class. I realized that this was a service that nobody was doing. Everything was too hard for these students. I wanted something to be fun. I wanted to be light and fun. Okay. Um, so I need your help brainstorming ideas for each one of the email types. You may already know some things about me, but I don't want you to invent stories for me. So what I need are prompts that you can ask me about what to help me think of my own stories or ideas. If you already know about me from previous chats, feel free to suggest specific things. Once I have a list of a few ideas for each type, I will provide more information on each idea and ask you to help me with the copy of the email. For now, I'm asking for help brainstorming unique, authentic ideas. As you know, I was supposed to fill in here. They already know who I am, but if ChatGPT doesn't know you, so I'm going to come back in here really quick. Whoopsie. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to say, as you know, I am an English teacher. So ChatGPT knows all 3 businesses that I run. As you know, I am an English teacher for young children. I'm going to put English enlightenment. Enlightenment. I am an English teacher for young children, English enlightenment, whose parents might not speak English very well or be able to help or be able to help their children learn due to time constraints or ability. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to put this in here. All right. So now it's coming up with this, right? So here we have the prompts. I don't know why we're taking so long here. Okay. So now it's going to ask me some questions. All right. So it's asking me questions about first it says, I'm going to be sharing stories, reflections, or real life observations that hint at your values and teaching philosophy while offering something meaningful for parents to reflect on. So here are the sparks. So it's going to ask me some like real classroom moments. So can you think of a time where a student surprised you with something funny, insightful, or heartwarming that taught you something about learning language or patience? Language learning or patience. Um, I've had students in the past who taught me parts of their language, and I learned how hard it is to pronounce Chinese versus English. We had some laughs at my pronunciation, and um, and though it was hard, I was able to learn basic Chinese first starting with my students. I'm gonna go with that. So number 2, what's a small victory a student had that reminded you progress doesn't always look big? Okay, so uh, a student who has always um, had a had always hidden from camera and didn't want to participate has recently started uh, speaking happily in class, and even coming to the camera with her favorite toy to show it to me and talk about it in English. Okay. Number 3, have you ever seen a child use English in a creative or unexpected way, even if it wasn't perfect, that made you smile? These are going to take you a second to go through these, right? So I'm gonna go through here and um, so I'm just gonna go through here. I'm gonna pick a couple. I'm not gonna do all of these, or else it's gonna take forever. Have you ever realized it's something you do on the farm or in daily life? Now it's asking me on the farm because it knows that I have a farm because ChatGPT knows everything about me. Like, okay. Is actually a perfect metaphor for how kids learn language. Um, I gotta think about this. If I ever realized something I do on the farm or in daily life is actually a perfect metaphor for how kids learn language. Slowly. So we'll go, yes, I'm teaching my horse, and we have to practice daily. She's learning slow, as am I, because I'm not a horse trainer and I'm just learning how to do this. Um, and we have had progress, although it's small, baby steps. We are growing together. Um, ChatGPT is going to know what I talk about that. Um, so okay, we're just gonna go with some of these, okay? I'm not gonna do all these. I'll try to do okay, so I'll do 13. Yes, kids always translate for parents. And I love that they have the ability to help and teach their own parents, and that um, they have, and that how I want to say this, um, and that they are super proud to do so. Um, let's see. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of these right now. I'm just going to do some of them. Okay. All right. So now it's going to come up with um, some business adjacent email topics. So here are some examples for this. When my students became the teachers. So the core story, your Chinese students taught you parts of their language and you struggled. It's the deeper theme is empathy and connection through learning. And the angle is how being on the learner side reminded you of what your students feel when they try to speak English, the importance of safe spaces for mistakes and laughter, and progress isn't about perfection, it's about courage and community. Okay. Another email is about a shy student, right? So the email angle, why patience and trust are more powerful than pressure. This is a really, really good email actually that I'll probably use because a lot of my families, when they first come in, they want to pressure their students, but it takes time and you need the patience and the trust. And children are going to open up and learn when they feel seen and not judged. The takeaway is that growth isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's a quiet hello to the camera. Um, so the horse one, the email angle, teaching like training a horse, it's not about control, it's about communication. Showing up daily, even imperfectly, builds results over time, and patience and consistency matter more than speed or talent. Um, uh, the email angle for when teachers or when kids become teachers, the beauty of children teaching their parents how language becomes a bridge. It talks about confidence, belonging, and the ripple effect of learning English. And then when a child learns or when a child teaches, everyone grows, not just their vocabulary. Okay. So now you're going to come over to your email here, and it's going to have you do the same for prompts 2 and prompts 3. Okay. So we're going to go through and we are going to go back to ChatGPT. Okay. We're going to go back into ChatGPT and we're going to do the same thing for the personal and relatable emails. There is Tylenol in the cupboard in the kitchen. Oh, okay. All right. So your personal and relatable emails are going to help people connect with you as a person. So these are going to be stories, reflections, funny, vulnerable moments that people think like, oh, okay, she's like me. She gets me, right? So, has one of your goats or ducks ever done anything? And you're not going to have questions about goats and ducks, okay? ChatGPT knows that I have goats and they know that I have baby goats and I do goat parties and I do all that. So they're going to ask me questions like that. Have they ever done anything completely chaotic or funny that turned into a life lesson moment? Has an animal ever surprised you? Have you ever had to improvise a solution on the farm that made you laugh afterwards? Um, what's one farm chore that is strangely relaxing? I told you. I told you to wait, dude. Okay. So you're going to go through and you're going to write all of these. Okay. I'm not going to go through all of these. Okay. I'm not going to do these. They're in your thing. They're in your prompts. You can do them. It's going to be the exact same thing that you did for um, this. Okay. Um, whoops. Sorry. Okay. And I thought it was going to ask me to, I said yes, because I thought it was asking me to go on to the next one. But okay. So this one says like one of my goats got into the feed room, looked so proud of herself. When I was a kid, I used to. My horse finally trusted me enough to, whatever. So that's just giving some examples here. And then after you're done, you're done. After you do these prompts, these are your prompts, okay? And you're going to be done with this. Okay. Now I have to go back in here and get my presentation back up. I apologize. Okay. Okay. So your assignment for today is to brainstorm both solo and with ChatGPT your email ideas. You are going to come up with at least 5 to 10 ideas per category. Okay. So you're going to have 5 to 10. So you're going to have 15 to 30 ideas, 5 to 10 for business, personal, and product or service. Okay. You're going to be using these prompts to get these. These prompts are going to help you come up with your emails. You're going to come up with something that you had no idea that was going to be a thing. Like again, like one of my emails here was, let me come back in here and read one of them that I got was one of the emails here. It's going to be a story about um how being a learner reminds me of how students feel when they try to speak English, right? Um, I'll have an email about the girl that hid from the camera, an email about my horse, and it sounds funny, okay? But you're gonna see that these are going to work, and when they come out, these emails come out, they're going to be so good. So, what did we do today? We did an overview of Teacher Boss Society and the challenge. We talked about your mindset. You need to understand that your voice is valuable. We brainstormed email ideas, and we're going to have a list of email ideas at the end of this. Okay. Um, so Q&A time. Does anybody have any questions? You have until Wednesday. If you're following along with this live, you have until Wednesday to come up with your 5 to 10 email ideas for each one. In your workbook, I'm going to pull this up really quick. Screen share. Okay. So if you go into the Teacher Boss Society, you go into Classroom, you're going to find the weekly email challenge. The recording's not here right now because I have to put the recording onto school, but you're going to find your ChatGPT prompts and your weekly email challenge workbook right there. All right. When you go into let me make sure it's sharing. It's not sharing. Let me try this again. Because I stopped sharing. Let me try it again. There we go. All right. So when you go into your school account, you are going to see here in Classroom, you're going to go to the weekly email challenge. This is the challenge that we're doing right now. The recordings will be here. All the recordings will be here after they are up. So I'll take this recording and I'll put it in here. You're going to find your prompts under day 1, and you're going to find your weekly challenge workbook under day 1 as well. It's taking a second for it to load. I don't know why. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, you can see it. All right, so this is your weekly challenge workbook. You're going to have your schedule here. You'll go through. There's day 1. It's going to give you a whole breakdown of everything that we did today. The types of emails, it's going to break down the types of emails. Okay. There's examples in there. And then there's a spot for your assignment. So you can start brainstorming your business email ideas, your relatable email ideas, your product email ideas. And that is your assignment for day 1 that you can find in the workbook. If you are not familiar with school, I don't know how many people that we have on here right now that are not in Teacher Boss Society already. But if you're not familiar with it, you can go to teacherboss.society.com and you can join, and I'll give you access to the school group after you're in. It's only for Teacher Boss Society members. So hopefully this was helpful. If anybody has any questions, how do I? I'm trying to hold on. There we go. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the comments. And if you're even watching this as a replay, I will answer your comments. And I will see everybody later. Okay. All right. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you in the school group. Please go in the school group and go ahead and leave a comment in the school group with some of your email ideas. This is going to turn out so well. Like right now, it's like, how are you going to turn, you know, the fact that my puppy ate my shoes into an email for students? These emails are going to be so good. All right.